Hi again, this is Evelyn. Welcome back. Just another little short snippet for you for a little bit of an intro to the upcoming workshop, Leadership Evolves. One of the things you're going to be learning about at Leadership Evolves is NLP. And NLP, what is NLP? You may have heard about that acronym before. NLP is Neuro-Linguistic Programming. And it's really about modeling excellence to improve the results that you have and you want in your business. I want to share some concepts with you very briefly here. But before I do that, I want to tell you a very, very brief story. So there is, let's say you're a visitor. So you're a visitor from some exotic land, way far away across the sea, away from our beautiful shores of Australia. So you're walking along Pitt Street, Sydney, and you're trying to find your way around this beautiful city. I love Sydney. I wouldn't live anywhere else in the world. I just love it so much. You're trying to find your way around this captivating city of ours, and you need to look at a map to find your way because you've not been here before. So in order to find your desired destination, which of course, in the purpose of this story is, let's say it's Darling Harbour. So you go to your backpack and you pull out a map, and the map you pull out is of Queensland, Surfers Paradise. And you're studying the map, trying to find Darling Harbour. Well, of course, you're not going to find Darling Harbour on a map of Surfers Paradise. So you realize your mistake and you pull out a different map, a map of Sydney instead. Now you're getting closer. It makes so much more sense. Now, a map of Sydney can only ever be a representation of Sydney. It's not Sydney, right? It's a representation of Sydney from an aerial view. And I mean, a map of Sydney is only a map. A picture in your mind of what Sydney actually is. Correct? It's not Sydney. It never will be Sydney. It's a representation. It's a map of Sydney. So it's the same for you and I. It's the same for us in this human race. Every individual, you and me, your clients, your family, your partner, your prospects, they all have their own map. They all have their own representation of a map of their world. It's a representation that is about them and their world, and it's unique to them. So this is critical, guys, to understand. This is a principle of NLP, principle you need to understand when it comes to owning your own personal power, especially in sales and negotiation. So it's about maintaining relationships because we all have our own map of the world. And, in any given situation, it's your own map of the world that gets in the way. Your partner, they have their own map of the world. Your colleagues have their own map of the world. Your boss has their own map of the world. And what happens is we have a filtration system. And the filtration system goes through lots and lots of different, I'll just go to the next slide for you. Lots and lots of different filters. We have values, we have beliefs, we have reference points, memory, language, experiences, defining moments, decisions. We have things that happen to us in our life. Life just happens to us along the way. So everybody creates their own beliefs and their own values around their situation in their life. What's right with life? What's wrong with life? What's good about life? What's bad about life? So everybody's map is absolutely unique. So the map of your world in your mind is as unique as your fingertips. There are no two maps exactly the same, none. And this is really mind-blowing, because when you consider that there are over 6 billion people on our magnificent planet, and not one person has got exactly the same fingerprints as another. You know that. Well, it's exactly the same for the human behavioral dimension, the psychology of an individual. People's maps of the world, of their world, are like the human behavioral version of fingerprints. They're extremely unique. And yes, there's overlaps, and yeah, there are maps that are similar, but no map is identical to the other. Every individual's map is unique to them. Even if they've been born in the same, they've been born into the same family, even twins, triplets, same parents, brought up in the same household, same environment, went to the same school, all of that kind of stuff, same friends, religion, the same. At the end of the day, they each are unique. They're unique individuals. And so NLP is, it's very briefly, it's the language, it's language skills. Again, we're going to cover this coming up in the Leadership Evolves workshop. So neuro is the mind. It's how the brain works. And I'm not sure about you, but whenever I was younger and I had my first child, I wanted to know, oh, gee, I wish I had a manual, for this. I wish I had a manual. I wish I could learn faster. I wish I could do better at this. I knew that it had something to do with the mind, but I really didn't know how much it really did affect me and the way that I ran my household and the way that I brought up my children and worked together with my husband. So I wished I had a manual that had told me how to run this mother thing, especially to understand my kid, a manual that could tell me how to tell my child to get the best out of life. And so I really searched for this. How does my mind work? And when I came up with when I came and it was introduced to NLP, it gave me the answers, not in not a whole lot of technical jargon, but it really is step by step. It's a way of how to use your mind more effectively and how to understand other people's mind. So then you have linguistic, which is just language. It's just language. It's how we use language. And finally, we've got programming. And that's our habits of thoughts, which lead to habits of behavior. So what are the habits of thought that we run automatically? What are your habits of thought? What do you do automatically? And sometimes you wish you didn't. Is there a constant critic there stopping you from taking action? Is there something that when you really want to fulfill your dreams, that something comes up and says, oh, I can't be bothered, or I'll do it tomorrow? Yeah, sounds familiar, doesn't it? So what we do, we learn to restructure the neural pathways. And because changing our unresourceful ways into more resourceful ways, it does take some time and some understanding of how the human psyche works. So what we want to do, we want to discover the problem, the challenge. And this is based on past experiences that we've created, meaning and beliefs around something that's holding us back today. And I have to tell you guys right now, this is usually happens to us between 0 and 7 years of age. So it's the past that's holding us back. We want to be able to replace it with the why. This is where our mental processes are recoded. We actually, in NLP, you'll learn how to reprogram the mind, your own mind and that of other people, if that's what they would like to do. So you recode the mind, giving a new meaning and transformation around language based on those past events. So I mean, we can't change, of course, we can't change the past. We can't change history, but we can change the way we feel about history, which is really important. This is what we do. And then we have evidence strategies, of course, and this is reframing the people's minds, reframing how things happen, reframing their interpretation, their perception of it. We reframe an evidence. We actually go through our life gathering evidence. You see, life sucks. You see, I'm not very good at this. I don't know how to do this. And we go through searching for evidence, gathering evidence of things that we can't do, our experiences in life and communication, which is really sounds really crazy, doesn't it? But this is, in fact, what we do with ourselves throughout life. And again, you'll understand when you come to the event. Well, I'll unpack this in great depth for you so that you'll be able to understand this a little more. One of the principles or themes that we have also in NLP is what we call cause and effect. And cause and effect, I want to talk about it for a little bit. It's to give you some background on it, how we're running this course or the philosophy. It's the underlying. It's one of the underlying themes that we have is cause and effect. Now, this is a basic scientific concept, guys. For every cause, there will be a repercussion or an effect. And the opposite is true also. So every effect that we see in this world, there has been a cause of it. It's really, really simple. What we do in NLP is we look at this in our personal life. And what we say is that people who are successful, because NLP is a model of excellence. Yeah, it's a model for success. So people who are successful will say, well, everything in my life, everything I've been the cause of me. Yeah, I've been a success because of me. And I take 100% responsibility for that, for what happens in my life. I take 100% responsibility. And look, that doesn't mean it's all my fault. It doesn't mean that I've done something wrong. It just means that everything that happens in my life, there is a cause. There is a cause there. And something is there, and I'm taking responsibility for that. Now, and I can hear you say, to yourself, well, I know that you can relate to this. In business, for example, this is even stronger truth in business. There is no place on earth where you can see cause and effect working more strongly than in business. Your business is a reflection of you. If you're running your own business, or if you're running a business within a business, if you work that way, your career is a reflection of yourself. Your relationship is a reflection of yourself. So if there's something not right in the business or in your role that you're playing right now in your career, then there's something that inside it's not running the way that you want it to. And the business is just an outside extension of what is inside. Think about that. Now, this is not a particularly popular concept for some people. People in business are what we call at the effect side of the equation. So what they do is they get to create a whole lot of excuses about why things are not working, but why they're not making money, or why the business isn't running the way they'd like it to. So they're at effect, what we call at effect. They're below the line. And when you're at effect, you get to blame other people, to get to blame things, to get to blame external sources. And so you get to go, oh, well, it was that employee. If they would have only done what they were supposed to do, what I told them to do, then my business would run perfectly. Or it's the economy. And if the economy was running better, then my business would be much more successful. But what we're saying is, if you really want to improve your business, your career, your relationship, or be empowered in some way, in that what's important to you in life, then you need to understand that you are at cause for what happens in your business, in your life, in your career. And I mean, after all, if you do own your own business, who employed that person? That person that you're blaming, who employed them? Who's not doing what they're doing? But who employed them? Well, the business owner did, correct? So really, you're at cause for employing that person. So it's the business owner, it's you. Who's at cause for speaking to that person in some particular way? It's you, the business owner, the boss. If we're at cause, then we'll ask, well, how can I communicate with that person so that they're more likely to do what I'm asking? When we're on the effect side of the equation, we're saying that person got to change, or I'm going to change, or I'm going to fire them, or the economy. Rather than be at effect, whinging and crying and making excuses, somebody who is at cause doesn't do that. Someone who's a cause takes it for what it is. The stock market has crashed. There's a bit of depression. The property market, you know, if you're in real estate, the property market has been, you know, at its worst for some time. But you know what? People are going to buy regardless. No matter whether the stock market is crashed, people will buy. Even in depression, people will buy. In the worst market, people will buy. So I'm gonna talk to you again, unpacking this a lot more at the leadership event, Leadership Evolves event. So I'm going to wrap this one up here right now. I look forward to catching up with you again real soon. You're welcome to shoot me an email, give me a call, and we can talk about you coming along and learning some more about NLP and about cause and effect. Thanks for your time.